Have you ever been captured by an extraterrestrial being?
Yes.
And no more than 4 feet in front of me is an alien staring at me. About 4 feet tall, large dark eyes, small mouth, small nose. And so that trip, it lasted about 30 minutes. We passed through a portal and we're no longer on Earth.
Have you ever killed an extraterrestrial being?
Yes.
A lot of people are going to be watching this and they're going to think that you're crazy, or they're going to think you're a liar. And you don't come off crazy, I have to tell you, but the lying part, we can't tell. So what we had you do was take a polygraph test from a polygraph examiner, and we want to show you the results of that right now.
Jason, go ahead and relax, remain still. The test will begin in a moment. The test is beginning. Are you now in the state of Colorado?
Yes.
Regarding your extraterrestrial experiences, do you intend to answer my questions truthfully today?
Yes.
Have you ever said anything in anger that you later regretted?
No.
Were you ever a member of a secret space program?
Yes.
Did you ever engage in military service on the planet Mars?
Yes.
Have you ever told a lie to keep yourself out of trouble?
No.
Were you ever a member of a secret space program?
Yes.
Did you ever engage in military service on the planet Mars?
Yes.
Have you ever told a lie to keep yourself out of trouble?
No.
During your entire life, have you ever broken even one law?
No.
Have you ever killed an extraterrestrial being?
Yes.
Have you ever been captured by an extraterrestrial being?
Yes.
During your entire life, have you ever violated any rules or regulations?
No.
Have you ever been captured by an extraterrestrial being?
Yes.
During your entire life, have you ever violated any rules or regulations?
No.
Okay, the test is ending. Please remain still.
Today we have a special guest. His name is Jason Rice, and he claims to have been in the secret space program. Hey, Jason.
Hello, Jay. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's great to have you. Why are you personally coming forward?
I'm coming forward now because there are thousands of others out there that have been through this, that have gone on the 20 and back program. And I'm not just talking about Americans, we're talking globally. And some of the people that did not come back, their stories need to be told, whether they were soldiers or scientists or just civilians. They provided and gave the ultimate sacrifice for humanity, and their stories need to be told. We need to have full disclosure. The people need to be aware of some of the things that humanity has done. It's time to heal and to grow from that.
So let's start with the beginning. You had a behavior problem because you were constantly being an escape artist.
I was. I kept getting brought back by the police or strangers. I had my own dog tags with "if lost, please call" on a chain. And so the last time that I was brought back by the same police officer, he told my parents that if they didn't keep me contained and keep control of where I was, that I was going to be taken into state custody.
And this caused your parents to freak out because they're afraid of the police and the child protection services and all those people coming and investigating them. Totally understandable.
Understandable. Of course, they were terrified, and they found a behavioral program at one of the local universities and enrolled me in that. Turns out to be one of the recruiting arms for the MyLab program. And that's where I was identified as an intuitive empath.
Well, when you say intuitive empath, what do you mean? An
intuitive empath is somebody that feels or knows something without having been told, without having experienced it before. It's an ability to pick up on emotions. It's not mind reading, but it's being able to feel what others are feeling and being able to intuit why they're feeling that way or how something is supposed to work or how it's supposed to go together. People have termed or called it psychic, but it's not really the same thing. The caveat was that we weren't allowed to talk, but we had to work in teams of 2, sometimes 3, and work together to put this puzzle together. And what they were doing is they were training us with our intuitive empath abilities in teamwork. Progressed on up through smaller pieces, more pieces, and again, we couldn't talk. We had to non-verbally communicate and trust and work with our intuitive empath abilities, up to the point where it was a single colored puzzle with thousands of pieces that we were working together. They also included blindfolding to work together so that we could work our intuitive empath abilities and teamwork.
Would it be fair to say that they are looking for that quality in these kids?
That's absolutely right. They're looking for that quality in people because it makes for better soldiers, better operatives. You can walk into a room and pick up on the situation, 5 or 6 different people all at one time, and be able to read the scenario, read the environment.
Did you notice a refining process with these kids and you, where they were like, you could see that some were not going to make it and others were going to go forward or anything like that?
Yes. There were people that just weren't picking up on it. They weren't progressing. And usually those children didn't stay, didn't come back. 20 and Back program is based on the use of advanced technology where you provide service for 20 years. And at the end of that service, you are medically and quantum age regression back to the time point where you originally entered into service. And then they take you back in time to the point in time that you originally went into service. But you still lived out and had those 20 years of service that you provided in whatever program. And there's a number of secret space programs that utilize this technology.
And did they take care of you when you came back?
When I got back, part of the going away present package that they left included programming for me to want to go into the military service. And seemingly overnight, I developed an interest in the military. I wanted to go to college, wanted to get an education. I was a driven individual at that point.
Did you go to high school, I assume?
I went to high school and maintained a 3.9 GPA all through high school. And I was awarded a medical scholarship for the Air Force ROTC, and I was awarded an engineering scholarship for the U.S. Army, and I chose the engineering.
And did you finish your 4 years?
I finished my 4 years.
And then you went into the military? The
military 20 and Back that I went on was right at the start of my U.S. Army career, the second 20 and Back. I have a lot more of those memories. I was commissioned the same day I graduated from college, which was in December of 1996. And 2 months later, I was given change to my orders, which my original orders were to report into Fort Leonard Wood to attend the officer's basic course. And the day before I was supposed to leave, I got new orders assigning me to the Army Research Office up in North Carolina.
But let me ask you, are you afraid that someone's going to stop you from speaking out?
I have concerns for the safety of those that I love and care about, but having been through and remembered the things that I've gone through, I feel more compelled to bring this into the light than I am concerned about my own safety.
You went to the university at the auspices of the Army.
I went to Florida Institute of Technology under a 4-year engineering scholarship I was awarded a medical scholarship for the Air Force, ROTC, and I was awarded an engineering scholarship for the U.S. Army, and I chose the engineering. And then I was commissioned the same day I graduated with a Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering. And in fact, at the end of my education, I had applied to go on and get a master's degree. And they said, nope, you're graduating in December and you're starting your commission in active duty immediately.
So 2 months after you started your active duty, fully expecting just a change in orders and everything was going to be copacetic, and then what happened?
Well, I show up at this facility and meet my new company commander. We got into the first elevator. There were 2 buttons, up, down. That was it. He placed his hand on a scanner on the wall, and then we started our trip down. It was about a 5-minute elevator ride, and towards the bottom, I recall that there was a very peculiar feeling of vertigo where the world seemed to turn sideways for just an instant and then it was gone.
And were there cameras in this elevator?
I'm sure there were. I never saw them.
Yeah.
As they later told me that from the moment I stepped foot in the facility that I was being watched, and all of my actions and choices and decisions were being recorded and used for part of my training. So, but we get to the end of the bottom of that first elevator ride. He had his hand on his sidearm, his Beretta.
Really?
And was very, very intently watching what I was doing. And of course, I didn't know about the...
Oh, he was afraid might go psychotic.
He was worried that if I went psychotic, I would try and attack him.
Right.
And I later found out that he had to use his sidearm on another trainee earlier that day. So we get to the end of the elevator ride down, and it opens up onto a red lit platform that's about 12 feet high, 10 feet wide, and 10 feet in front of the elevators is a track. And there's a capsule transportation train, if you will, shaped like a pill. It has a Lamborghini style door that's opened. It was white. The capsule that we were getting into was barely shorter than the landing. So we get into the capsule, and I sit down on the right side, and he comes and sits down in front of me, and our knees are only a few inches apart, and the door closes, and I couldn't tell which direction we were moving in. And then I sat quietly, and I got the feeling that we were moving in a direction towards my back. So I was facing rear. And so that trip, it lasted about 30 minutes. We passed through a portal, and we're no longer on Earth. And
the train passed through a portal?
The train passed through a portal and took us to another location. I was able to recognize that because the background Schumann resonance was different. It wasn't the same as here. And so I was able to pick that up, and that actually came out during hypnosis.
Okay, hang on here. First off, what's a Schumann resonance?
Okay. The Schumann resonance is the background frequency that is present on Earth.
So you felt a shift in that background frequency when you went through the portal?
I felt it, yes, after I went through the portal.
What was it like going through the portal? Was there any physical feelings, mental feelings?
I was so focused on that vertigo, the world going sideways in the elevator, that I was still overwhelmed with, okay, what's going on?
The newness.
The newness, this is all different. I've never seen any of these things before, and I didn't notice a difference at that time. It was a minor difference. It couldn't have been that much, going from the background frequency here to wherever it was that we went to. It couldn't have been a shift of that much. And they supplemented it with an artificial background frequency as well, which subtly different, but different nonetheless.
Describe what a portal is.
Portal technology is used for travel, and it can take the shape of, as large as they need it to get a vehicle or a person. And it's to instantaneously move from one place to another. It could be within a solar system, or it could be somewhere else in the galaxy. So for all I know, I could have been 1,500 light years away.
Right.
Or it could have been a mined out asteroid that's within our own solar system. I suspect it was Mars.
What happened then?
Well, the 30-minute capsule ride, we pull up into what turned out to be the next landing, our stopping point. I couldn't feel the train stopping, the capsule stopping. So the only indication I had that we had arrived was the door started opening. It scared the shit out of me because I thought we were still moving. And I expected to see it get ripped off any moment. And the captain that was with me knew it. And so he knew that we were going to be stopping, and he was watching to see what my reaction was. And so he saw me freak out for a moment because I thought we were about to witness the capsule coming apart. And he smirked. And I knew right then that, okay, this is another one of those new guy tricks. All right, I get it. And so we get out, and we're in this new landing that was about 100 feet long, about 30 feet high. It was all white lit. It was no longer red lighting. And so there were a bank of 3 elevator doors, 2 standard-sized elevator doors, and then the largest set of elevator doors I've ever seen in my life. These things were big enough to drive a semi-truck into.
Really?
They were enormous. So we will walk up to one of the man-sized elevator doors, and he hits the button, the door is open, and I look from him into the elevator, and no more than 4 feet in front of me is an alien staring at me.
Really? In the elevator?
In the elevator. About 4 feet tall, large dark eyes, small mouth, small nose.
And how did you react?
I turned and looked at the captain who was on my right, and then pointed at the elevator, and I said, "There's something in the elevator." And he said, "What is it?" And I looked back at the elevator, and it was gone. And I wasn't about to tell him what I'd seen, because at this point I was still clueless on what was going on.
Were you scared?
I was surprised. Thinking back on it, it wasn't a fear so much as, what's he doing here? Not, what in the world is that? So the captain didn't give any indication that there was anything strange. And so following his lead and not about to tell him and my first commanding officer that I'd just seen an alien in the elevator.
What you're looking on the test is changes in breathing patterns or upper body movement and activity. Down here a little bit more, you're looking for GSR changes or galvanic skin responses. Essentially, it's opening and closing of sweat glands in our fingertips. Just below that, what I'm looking for is changes in blood pressure, heart rate, etc. Below that, on the screen, what I'm looking at is PPG readings, which is photoplethysmograph readings. Essentially what that is the opening and closing or the constriction of blood vessels in your fingertips. Some of the other readings I have on there are, whether or not he moved or was trying to cheat the test in any way, and he wasn't. So what I'm looking at on the screen right now is that for the directed lies that I asked him to tell, which were, have you ever broken any laws, stuff like that. He does have a physiological response that comes from that is indicative of somebody normally lying to us, and that physiological result that I've come to expect. When we see the other questions where he answers yes to being part of a secret space program or being on the planet Mars, there's not that typical physiological arousal that we would expect to see when somebody knows that they're lying. Again, anytime that there is an extraordinary story that is so far out of what is normal and out of what I know as a human being, and from my experience, of course there's some doubt that creeps into my mind. Having said that, Jason seems like a very credible source. He's well-spoken. He came in here. He seems to know exactly what he feels happens, when it happened. All the polygraph can really tell us is whether or not somebody believes what they're saying is true. Physiological indicators indicate that he does not have an arousal of, any sort of biological indicators that tell me that he disbelieves his story. even in the slightest. So in that case, what I'm saying is that ultimately, Jason believes what he's telling us to be true.
If you enjoyed this, make sure to watch the next video on AwakenZone. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell, but you won't want to miss what's coming next.